Okay, vocabulary word number 1. High corporate. Relating to a large company. So yeah, it basically means corporate, but really corporate, really high up. Number 2, forthright means direct and kind of honest. So in this story, in the video, she says the person she interviewed wasn't forthright. So maybe they say, what's your best skill? And maybe they sat there, I'm really good working in a team. And she's like, are you really? It's not really like an honest answer. And maybe they even lied a little bit, right? They said, at my last job, I was the leader. And she can maybe not believe them, Being not forthright is kind of a soft way to say lying, right? So maybe if I say hey, where's your homework? Oh, I'm not sure where I put my homework. That's your way of saying I didn't do it, right? It's not exactly forthright, okay? Next, to color something, to give it some character or quality. So in the example, it's not a good thing to color your work experience too much. So if you apply for a job that's a manager, maybe you shouldn't say that you were an English teacher, you worked at a mart, you were a swimming teacher, and you also did some science job too. I don't know, a bunch of different things, right? You should do only management experience, right, on your resume. That's kind of a Western style thing, actually. The Western style resumes are a little bit simple. I've heard and I've seen the ones in Korea are very detailed, right? So I think you have a little bit different instruction than we do. In the West, they say don't give too much information or they ignore it. But here it's the opposite. They said give all of the information, right? Anyway, so that's what they're kind of talking about. They said just give the relevant information. Don't give it too much color. Number 4, upfront, straightforward and frank. My grandmother is the most upfront person I've ever met, right? Old people are tired of being nice. They just say exactly what they want, right? They say, "So young, it's time for you to get a haircut. Your hair is too long," right? You're like, "Whoa, grandma, you're so upfront," right? That's kind of like grandma style, right? But usually it's not about your hair. It's about something more serious, right? Upfront is a personality trait, but it can also be something about selling stuff, right? So if you go to a car shop and it's a used car, you hope that they are forthright and upfront about all the information, right? So maybe the last time somebody had this car, maybe the car had somebody drove it into a pond. They took it back out and they said, "Okay, I don't want this car anymore. I'm going to sell it." And then they sold it to you, but they never told you, "Hey, by the way, this car was underwater for 8 hours," right? And then one day you're driving and then there's I don't know, there's some problems, right? But it looks fine, right? The paint is all brand new and the tires are perfect, but it just has problems because the car was underwater, right? So that was kind of something they lied about. So upfront is when they give you all the details, right? Number 5, forthcoming. That's really similar to upfront and forthright. Forthcoming is candid, which means honest and sincere, okay, and willing to cooperate. Number 6, get a read on a person. So if you can read somebody, that means you can understand them, you can see their expressions on their face, right? So that's kind of it's related to poker face, right? A poker face is making it hard for other people to read you, right? So sometimes maybe you meet somebody, you can't tell if they like you or they hate you or if they're tired or if they're arrogant, right? You just can't really figure out what their personality is. That means you can't get a read on the person. The opposite would be if you can read them very easily. People say, "Wow, I can read that guy like a book." It's so easy to read them, right? That's kind of idiom. Oh, I can read her like a book, right?